Hi there, this is Sally Book Club. We bring you the world's best books every single day. Today we're diving into the biography of Marcel Duchamp. So, who exactly is Duchamp? He's hailed as the father of contemporary art. His impact on the art world is like Einstein's on physics, basically starting a whole new era. But to us regular folks, this guy might seem a bit out there. Why do we say that? Anyone who's heard art history anecdotes probably knows this story. Duchamp once submitted a urinal to an art exhibition, flipped it upside down, signed it, and called it art. He even drew a mustache on the Mona Lisa and called that a masterpiece too. You might ask, isn't this just childish pranking? Art's supposed to be noble, galleries sacred. How could a prankster become the father of contemporary art? But here's the kicker, he actually had massive following. André Breton, leader of French Surrealism, called Duchamp an absolute genius. American abstract expressionist Willem de Kooning said Duchamp single-handedly started the modern art movement. Even Picasso admired him. So the big question, how did Duchamp become famous and earn that father of contemporary art title? That's exactly what today's biography of Duchamp will uncover. Written by French art historian Judith Housies, this 470,000-word biography uses extensive research to detail Duchamp's life through his experiences and social circles. Now, let's follow the author to explore this prankster turned legend. In modern terms, Duchamp's life was a trilogy, from loser to influencer, then to guru, the ultimate underdog story. But anyone seeing Duchamp's photos would think, this dashing gentleman looks anything but a loser. True, he was born into wealth, handsome and sophisticated. Calling him a loser refers to three major failures. First, the Duchamp family had 4 children. As the third son, his 2 older brothers were established French painters and leaders in Cubism. Influenced by his brothers, Duchamp and his sister also pursued painting. However, his 1912 submission to the Paris Independant exhibition backfired. His painting Nude Descending a Staircase was rejected for displaying futurist elements instead of Cubist principles. Let's briefly explain the difference between Cubism and Futurism. Modern art had numerous schools, Cubism and Futurism being 2 prominent ones. Cubism compressed multiple perspectives into geometric fragments on a 2D plane to show all angles simultaneously. Picasso exemplified Cubism. Futurism emphasized motion through overlapping sequential images, like multiple film frames merged into static dynamism, similar to photographing moving subjects with motion blur. Today, these styles might look similar at first glance, but modernist factions rivaled like martial arts sects, constantly competing for prestige. Thus, Duchamp's act was seen as betraying his artistic clan. Saving face for his brothers, Duchamp quietly retrieved his painting under night's cover. This rejection devastated him. He quit painting, disillusioned by the art world's narrowness. This marked Duchamp's first major failure. When WW1 erupted, all able men, including his brothers, were drafted, except Duchamp. Deemed medically unfit during conscription, reasons never clarified, branded a coward, he faced public ridicule, even stone throwing in streets. Forced to flee France, he relocated to New York with friends' help, his second failure. The third failure brings us full circle to our opening story. In 1917, under pseudonym Richard Mutt, Duchamp submitted a urinal to New York's first independent artist show, the only work rejected. Young Duchamp left people with this impression. No artistic achievements, but frequent scandals. In New York, Duchamp mostly obsessed over chess, even spent his wedding night playing it at a club till dawn. So how did this seemingly unremarkable man become famous? The answer lies with that troublesome Nude Descending a Staircase. This work was expelled from Paris's 1912 exhibition. Afterward, it gathered dust in Duchamp's studio. Meanwhile, America planned an ambitious exhibition introducing European modernism to U.S. audiences. Thus began the famous Armory Show, a watershed in art history. Works by Picasso, Matisse, Cézanne, Manet, Monet, Renoir, and Duchamp's Nude were displayed. The exhibition ignited American enthusiasm, becoming major cultural exchange event. Unexpectedly, Nishant's nude became the scandalous sensation of the show. Audiences roared with laughter. Media frenzy ensued. The work was caricatured mercilessly. Critics called it cubism, futurism hybrid, representing modern art's excesses. Crowds queued half-hour just to mock the painting, museum's main attraction. Visitors left chuckling, inventing new ways to ridicule it. Even ex-President Theodore Roosevelt commented, "My Navajo bathroom rug explains cubism better than this new descending stairs." Paradoxically, the ridicule created cultural phenomenon. Americans permanently linked Duchamp's name with avant-garde, symbol of European art. So, unknown to him, Duchamp became household name, French celebrity rivaling Napoleon's fame. 2 years later, when Duchamp arrived in America, he discovered he'd become an internet celebrity. The benefit of being viral meant resources flowed to him effortlessly, no active effort required. Soon after arriving in New York, Walter Arnsberg approached him, not just an art enthusiast, but major collector of modern works. Arnsberg was organizing New York's Society of Independent Artists and proposed Duchamp as committee chairman. His Armory Show fame made him the perfect European avant-garde representative for Americans. Deeper reason. The new society modeled itself after Paris's 1884 independent artists' salon tradition. Having Duchamp from Paris's original society legitimized their historical continuity, like new branch offices inviting headquarters executives for credibility. Europe still dominated art world. Crucially, as chairman, Duchamp implemented Paris's core principle: no juries, no awards mechanism. Any artist paying $5 membership fee could exhibit. Zero quality standards. This encouraged radical artistic experimentation. Thus, Duchamp transformed from viral sensation to rule-making thought leader. Now, how did he ascend from influencer to deity status? We must revisit the fountain incident. Earlier mentioned rejection, what really happened. As society chairman, any Duchamp submission should have been welcomed. Everyone expected another nude-like work, playful yet harmless, media fodder. Instead, he anonymously submitted Fountain under R. Mutt pseudonym. Ultimate Artistic Challenge. This was literally just a standard urinal from New York men's restrooms. Both its name and function carried deliberate provocation. French neoclassical master Ingres' most famous painting, The Source, depicts a graceful nude maiden. Duchamp subverted this concept, linking urinals and pissing to the source. The committee heatedly debated before ultimately rejecting it. This outcome was exactly what Duchamp anticipated. History repeated itself, just like Paris exhibition's rule-breaking. Hadn't Paris's indépendants violated their own jury-free principles before? This was his calculated challenge to the entire art establishment. But Duchamp came prepared. A week post-rejection, the Blind Man magazine surfaced. Actually, Duchamp's media ploy, using fake letters to expose the scandal publicly, they systematically criticized the exhibition's hypocrisy through articles. Meanwhile, Duchamp recruited Alfred Stieglitz to photograph Fountain. Stieglitz was strategically chosen, gallery owner and photography pioneer. He legitimized photography as art, husband to Georgia O'Keeffe, unwitting pawn in Duchamp's game. Stieglitz exhibited the photo as his own artwork, complete with title. This very photo became Fountain's canonical documentation in art textbooks. Stieglitz's endorsement gave Duchamp crucial artistic validation. Without this photo, how could Fountain's existence be proven? The artwork's fate remains mysterious. Multiple theories exist. Most credible version. Arnsberg secretly stored it in his collection. Duchamp's entire urinal scheme originated from Arnsberg's initial invitation to join the society. The Arnsbergs likely knew and supported this scheme, protecting the rejected work fit their pattern. As childless heirs to fortunes, the couple devoted their wealth to art collecting. Their collection included numerous Picassos, Chagalls, and Matisses. They became Duchamp's die-hard fans. after being awestruck by his armory show exhibit. Over decades, they amassed nearly all of Duchamp's major works. Now let's examine Duchamp's influential social circle. These connections crucially cemented his artistic legacy. Simply put, Duchamp's friends were art world's financial elite. His role? Continuously fueling their artistic passions. Catherine Dreyer, German heiress and art patron, became key collaborator. She co-founded Société Anonyme Museum with Duchamp and NYC Brownstone. The space hosted 83 exhibitions, launching Mondrian, Kandinsky, Leger in America. Then there's Peggy Guggenheim, Duchamp's famous socialite confidant, dubbed Dollar Princess for her mining fortune inheritance. Her family's legacy includes Global Guggenheim Museums network. Duchamp guided her through artist studios like personal curator. He introduced Hans Arp, Kandinsky, Brancusi, Yves Tanguy, all later becoming her lovers. Her Venetian Palazzo collection became 20th century art history condensed. It alternatively viewed modern art's greatest talents romantic entanglements with Guggenheim. At 63, Duchamp married Teenie Matisse in Philadelphia. This final marriage proved extraordinary. Teenie was daughter-in-law of Fauvism founder Henri Matisse. Her ex-husband, Pierre Matisse, became transatlantic art dealer, supplying European modern art to American museums. Duchamp's artwork similarly circulated within his elite network. Let's unpack. Confidant Peggy Guggenheim established world-renowned Guggenheim Museum. Partner Catherine Dreyer donated Societanum collection to Yale University. The Arnsbergs bequeathed their entire collection to Philadelphia Museum of Art. While artists dreamt of museum recognition, Duchamp had curators as close friends. Now, how Duchamp achieved deification as father of contemporary art? Though Fountain caused sensation, art world saw it as another Duchamp prank, not serious art. No one initially hailed him as revolutionary. That recognition came later. Duchamp's true impact emerged post-1960s, with new generations' embrace. Experimental music pioneer John Cage revered him, even televising chess matches with Duchamp. Joseph Baez's TV performance, Duchamp's Silence is Overrated, seemed confrontational, actually declaring himself Duchamp's true heir. The crucial question, what makes Duchamp so revered? His genius lies in inventing ready-made art, neither painting nor sculpture. But ready-made art isn't about randomly selecting objects as artworks for applause and sales. Rather, it suggests everyday objects hold artistic potential when recontextualized. The key lies in artists offering fresh perspectives through these objects. Since Fountain's museum entry, galleries no longer just display wall paintings. Artists' conceptual works became new exhibition staples, strange yet fascinating. Some exhibit industrial waste, others transform spaces into stables with live horses. How should we comprehend these contemporary artists? Art historically, post-Duchamp era pushed representing reality to its limits. Cubism, Futurism already depicted multi-angled realities exhaustively. Post-impressionists like Van Gogh explored emotional expression thoroughly. Photography's rise further diminished painting's dominance. Duchamp redirected art toward conceptual expression. Fountain challenged institutional authority. He became the pioneer testing these waters. Macro-historically, art evolved with post-war trauma reshaping ideologies. Post-WWN Europe saw shattered faith in rationality and progress. This birthed Dadaism. What's Dadaism? Simply, reject all conventions, overthrow every authority. This cynical attitude resonated with post-war disillusionment, evolving into major cultural force. Its influence permeated Lost Generation, Beat Generation, hippie movements. French Dadaists adored Duchamp, seeing him as prankster genius and cultural icon. Thus, even across the Atlantic, Duchamp remained Dada's spiritual leader. Duchamp's deification began gradually through Dadaist appropriation. Originally just another painter, Duchamp's calculated provocations catapulted him into public consciousness. He leveraged this viral fame to infiltrate collector elites, paving his museum accession path. Crucially, he actualized radical new worldview through conceptual perseverance. All avant-garde art since orbits his coordinates, where life and art merged perfectly. That concludes our exploration of the Duchamp biography. Find keynotes below the audio. See you tomorrow.